Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're getting into something really fundamental, intergroup bias.
Right. How we see the social world.
Exactly. You sent over Understanding Intergroup Bias, and our goal here is to pull out the core ideas, what it is, why it matters.
Yeah, really get to the heart of why we seem to naturally categorize people and, well, favor our own group.
Okay, so let's start there. In simple terms, what is intergroup bias?
Fundamentally, it's the tendency to prefer your own social group over others.
Okay.
And this preference, it can pop up in our thoughts, our feelings, even our actions towards people not in our group.
And this feeling of us, it stems from our social identity, right? The groups we feel we belong to.
Precisely. That sense of self we get from being part of a group, maybe our profession or like a hobby group, it naturally leads to feeling positive about that group.
So in-group favoritism.
That's a huge part of it, yeah.
Yeah.
We actually get some self-esteem from belonging, which kind of fuels wanting to see our group in a good light.
Right. We like our team. But what about those minimal group studies? I remember reading about those. What did they show?
Ah, yes, Tajfeld's studies, they were fascinating.
How so?
Well, they created groups based on totally arbitrary things, like preferring one abstract painting over another. Completely meaningless.
Okay.
And the really surprising part was, even with these trivial, random group assignments, people started showing favoritism towards their own group.
Just like that.
Just like that. And sometimes even discriminating against the other group. It suggests that just the act of being put in a box, any box, can trigger that us versus them thing.
Wow. So just being labeled is enough. And this bias, it doesn't just stay as a thought, does it? It impacts the real world.
Absolutely not. Intergroup bias can be the foundation, really, for discriminatory behavior, treating people unfairly because of their group.
And prejudice, too.
And prejudiced attitudes, yeah. Those negative beliefs or feelings about other groups, the bias can feed into those.
Okay, so if this is so fundamental, almost automatic, is there anything we can do about it? You mentioned contact theory.
Yes, contact theory. It's the idea that positive interactions between people from different groups can actually reduce bias.
How does that work?
Well, when you connect with people as individuals, not just as, like, one of them, it can challenge your stereotypes, build a bit of empathy.
Makes sense.
Though, for it to work best, the research suggests certain conditions often help, like equal status between the groups in that situation, maybe working on shared goals.
Right, getting to know people as people. But so much of what we know about other groups comes filtered through, well, the media.
That's a big one. The media can definitely reinforce biases. Sometimes it's unintentional, just through, how groups are represented or maybe not represented.
Or how stories are framed.
Exactly. Framing can perpetuate existing stereotypes or negative ideas.
And it's kind of startling how young this starts. The source mentioned early development.
It did. Research shows intergroup bias can emerge really quite early in childhood. Kids start showing preferences for their own group and become aware of these social categories pretty young.
Which underlines why we need strategies not just for individuals, but within, say, organizations or institutions.
Exactly. There's definitely a growing awareness, a need for actively countering bias in workplaces, schools, you name it. Things like inclusive policies, maybe training.
And you can immediately see how that bias could affect huge decisions, like who gets hired.
Oh, definitely. Or who gets promoted into leadership roles. These unconscious biases can create real unfair advantages for some and disadvantages for others. It's a serious issue in hiring and leadership.
The source also hinted at maybe deeper roots, neurological, evolutionary maybe, briefly.
Yeah, there's discussion about that. Potential neurological wiring for categorization, maybe some evolutionary advantage in the distant past for preferring your in-group. It's complex.
But understanding that doesn't excuse it now.
Absolutely not. It's crucial we remember that. Understanding potential origins doesn't lessen the need to address the negative impacts today.
So wrapping this up, what's the main thing to take away?
I think the core insight is that intergroup bias is just a really fundamental part of how we navigate the social world. It's this maybe natural tendency to favor us.
With big consequences.
But with significant consequences, yeah. Contributing to discrimination, to prejudice, impacting so many areas of life.
Really fascinating stuff. And for you listening, maybe take a moment to think. How might these subtle biases be shaping your perceptions day to day? What small shifts could make your interactions more inclusive? Something to mull over. Thanks for joining our deep dive today.